I'm Laura Boushnak and I'm a Rawiya photographer, and I'm currently based in Sarajevo, Bosnia and Herzegovina. The work I'm showing here is part of my ongoing project titled I Read, I Write. I took these pictures in Yemen. The project is mainly about the importance of education and enriching the lives of Arab women. When I first started the project, I wanted to focus on illiteracy, but since I wanted to cover as many Arab countries as possible, I decided to focus on a different angle in each country I've visited. What I focused in Yemen was basically access of education, because according to a UNICEF report, access to education is extremely difficult for young girls. And what I decided to do in Yemen, I took portraits of women who were the first members in their families to go to universities. And the main concept I used in this project is the text you see on the portraits. So basically the women got engaged in the project and they wrote their own words on the pictures, explaining, for example, why they decided to continue their education, or like in the case of Egypt, saying why they decided to learn how to read and write and how that had influenced their lives. I'm tackling different issues. I mean, the difficulties women face in getting their education, and the main one is poverty, and then cultural constraints, where a lot of families unfortunately still believe that education of women is not that important because eventually she'll get married and the husband would take care of her. But the other issues that I tackled as well, like the teaching methods. Unfortunately, in a lot of public schools, all teaching methods are still used, and this puts off a lot of the students where they basically drop out of school. Usually I go through NGOs to do my work, and this is a great way to gain the trust of the women. But the fact that most of the women in Yemen wear the niqab, it wasn't really an issue to publish their pictures. And on the contrary, because before going to Yemen, I've asked a lot of my male colleagues who work there, and I was told that it's very difficult for them to take pictures of women. But I think in this case, the fact that I'm a woman, it made the work much easier to access the stories of the women. I personally didn't like going to school that much. And then as my photography career developed, I wanted to do something about the position of Arab women. And the idea partially started when I read a report by the UN which states that 50% of Arab women cannot read or write. So how can we really look for change, especially nowadays that all these changes are taking place across the region? I mean, when half of the community is often neglected. So I think the key point to start is education. Women has to be educated. They have the right to it. That's the beauty of Rawiya, that we all come from the region, and more or less we are all working on social issues, and particularly women issues, that each one of us is tackling a different topic. And so when you put this work together, where, for example, I mean, you can see the pictures here of Yemeni women wearing the niqab, and then you have Egyptian photographer Myriam Abdelaziz showing her belly dance series from Cairo, and it also shows the contradiction of the region.